Alrighty, hello. So this is a routine that I've cooked up, and my primary sources or inspirations from this is Dr. Stuart McGill and Dr. Shirley Sharman. So I've kind of melded together their techniques for a very good daily routine to help keep your body healthy, young, and strong. So first of all, we start out on all fours. You're gonna start with a gentle cat-cow like this. The goal with this one is to stay using a small range of motion in order to lubricate the spine. And that's all you're after. This is not a stretch. So after about 20 motions of the spine, brace your core, do a classic bird dog like this. Release your core and repeat. For this maneuver, you're gonna do 10-second holds. If you remember, it is best to hold these poses for 10 seconds because the smallest muscle groups up and down your spine can only really work well for 10 seconds, especially when they're deconditioned or if your back is grumpy. Every single time, release your brace, relax, tighten your belly, pick up your limbs, and repeat. Okay, done. Next move, the quadruped rocker. So in this position, put the weight on your hands and use your arms to motion your body back and forth like this. And this is working on your ability to do a deep squat pattern along with a few other things. Like this will keep your joints' ability to do a full range of motion intact, and that is good, that is desirable. Hips and knees, really like full range of motion whenever possible. And you can also play with the position of your legs. See if a different leg position will allow you to go deeper into this pseudo squat. Okay, relax. Now we're gonna move on to the belly exercises. So drop on down to your belly like this. Bend your legs. Now I want you to do 10 to 20 push-ups like this. I want you to do the easy push-ups as I'm doing here to go after the deeper stability muscles. When it comes down to joint pain, the deeper, smaller muscles matter most. Okay, relax. Now we're gonna move on to the hips. One of the most important things you can do to keep your body healthy and strong is make sure you have good hip extension. So go ahead and bend your leg, tighten your belly somewhat, squeeze your glute and lift your leg up like this. All these leg lifts we're gonna do 10 to 20 times. And how much you do is dependent upon how much time you have and also how used you are to all these exercises. Right, switch legs. The speed is up to you as well, but I do want you to shut off your muscles with every repetition, meaning that you contract and go up, relax and go down. Shut it off and repeat. It's important to get that sequence down because that is how your body functions in real life. Okay, relax. Now both legs straight. We're gonna do the same thing but with straight legs. Contract, lift, lower, repeat. And perhaps this motion is more recognizable. We do this every day, at least we should whenever we take a step. Our legs and hips move behind. to go backwards as we move through the world and step. Focus on a somewhat tight belly. You're using your glute, your butt muscles to do the contraction. Other side. So this one truly, when people lose their ability to do hip extension, to lift their leg behind you or move their legs behind, that's when you really become old. Okay, relax. Now we're going to work on the sides of the hips and the inner thighs. So go ahead and out, in, out, in. So yes, a lot of these exercises are simple, perhaps even easy, but they're designed to keep your body tuned so you can keep playing the musical of life well. Put your mind on the muscles in question, outer hips and inner thighs. You should feel them work as you move your legs in and out. Okay, relax. Now we're gonna go for the health of the hip sockets. Bend your legs like this. And you're gonna do the windshield wiper motion. You're gonna take your hips into full external and internal rotation. If you have replaced hips, be careful with this move. And what that means is don't force anything. Don't force a long or big range of motion. So this is the windshield wiper. We're doing 20 of these or so. Okay, relax. Next up in this position, put your arms up like this, tighten your belly, and try your best to lift your arms up and down like this 20 times. Great posture work. Working on posture through the shoulders. Now, if you're not able to do that, you can always settle for this instead. Build your way up eventually. And then if that's even too tough, you can try different angles with your arms until you find something that works. If you're really stuck, you can perhaps try it like this instead. But in any scenario, try to do 20 of these. For the next segment, you're gonna need a back support, which can be as simple as a rolled up towel, t-shirt, or sweater. So I'm gonna place this back support opposite of my belly button to support my lumbar spine, my low back. And I'm gonna enjoy a good stretch through many of these exercises. First drill is leg fall outs. Controlling your pelvis and your torso, let your leg fall out side to side like this. The target is your inner thighs, but more importantly is pelvic and core control. Can you move your legs independent of your torso and pelvis? Something to work on daily. Okay, next move, we're gonna work on the hip flexors. A lot of people have tight hip flexors, and I wonder how much tightness comes back to weakness. Because oftentimes weak muscles get tight, and stretching will not resolve the issue. So again, enjoy the stretch, straighten out one leg, and then turn your leg out slightly and bend your knee, and then do a leg lift like this. Try to go for 10 to 20 leg lifts per side. As you do this move, Make sure that your body is in control. Make sure you set your leg down completely, shut off the muscle and turn it back on every time. Control your body. Don't let things move around except for your leg. And if you're mindful of this move, it's a killer one. Switch legs. So again, leg straight at first, turn it out slightly, then bend your knee. Be mindful how you do this. Now for all these leg lift moves, if you want to make them harder, I advise that you make the leg that's down light. So light foot. So I'm lifting my left leg up and down. As I do that, I'm going to try to make my right foot as light as possible. After 10 to 20, that's good. Relax. Okay, now I'm in this position. Glute bridges. Squeeze your glutes and lift your pelvis up and down. Make sure you don't go too high, because oftentimes people go too high, they're moving their low backs. No, instead, brace your core slightly. Squeeze your glute muscles and try to get that range of motion to come only from the hip sockets. We gotta keep our glutes strong all the days of our lives. Okay, relax. Next exercise, if possible, place your hands behind your head like this. You can use one or both hands, depending on your shoulders. And you don't have to necessarily open up like this. You could bend your arms like this. I want you to try either this version of a core move through marches, or you can try the harder version like this, making sure that your core is very tight, mastering the movement. Legs are moving, pelvis is not moving. Your body is not moving at all except for your legs. Try to do 20 marches a day like this. Okay. Next move is an easy side plank plus clamshell addition if you can. So come up like this for a side plank. And it can be as simple as this. Hold in for 10 seconds and you can add the clamshells in if you're able to do that. But after 10 seconds, you'll drop, okay, 3 seconds off, come up and go again. And you'll do both sides of this one. Three seconds off, go up again. So I can get about 5 clamshells done to make up my 10 seconds. All right, other side. This side now, come on up. Down, 3-second break, up. And believe it or not, these muscles on the sides of our body are very important to stay tuned and toned, that we're able to walk and not lose our balance. Okay, relax. Okay, next up I want you to return to your back, straighten out both legs, and with active control, I want you to pull your legs in one at a time like this using your muscles, your leg muscles and hip muscles. Taking it through a great big range of motion. And even on this one, be mindful of not moving your pelvis or body except for your legs and hip sockets. relax. For the next one, I want you to bend your knees. We're going to do a passive stretch. You're going to grab your leg like this and pull it in. So even in this one, I'd like the lumbar support in place. I don't want your spine to get smashed against the ground. I don't want to create that range of motion. What you're after is a good range of motion in your hips and knees, so your back is not compromised. Because when hips and knees get stiff, along with your ankles, your back moves too much, and then it gets grumpy. Avoid the grumpy back by taking care of your hips and knees. Okay, next exercise, if you're able to, take up this position, come up, barely pick your upper back and head off the ground, hold that for 10 seconds, relax and repeat. Believe it or not, this is a great exercise for even acid reflux. I recommend it to many people with GERD and reflux issues. It's going to tone up your lower sphincter along with your upper six-pack. One more time. Focus your mind on your core. And relax. Last ground exercise for now. This is for some people, not others. If this is a good stretch for you, go ahead and do it. So take up this position. You're going to take your hand and take your palm down to the ground to induce a good stretch on your shoulder like this. Breathe into it. If this is not any sort of a stretch for you, you can skip this one. But if it is tight, try to stretch this on a daily basis. And after about 30 seconds to a minute, you'll switch sides. Take your palm down and stretch like so. If this muscle is really tight, it can actually lead to not only shoulder problems, but bad posture. Tight shoulders and shoulder issues can affect what the neck does. Can contribute to forward head posture. So if this is tight, stretch it on a daily basis. Okay, for the next exercise, what I want you to do is take up this position, bend your knees slightly, and I want you to think about your hips pulling you down like so, keeping your back straight, and then your glutes pulling you back up. You have to be very mindful when you do this exercise to get it right. So again, hips pull you down, and glutes pull you up. Hips pull you down. Imagine you're picking up a big watermelon or a toddler from the ground. Pull up. Down with the hips, up with the glutes. Down with the hips, up with the glutes. The goal is to feel it in the front muscles on the way down and hips on the way up. Please do that 10 to 20 times a day with mindfulness. So take care, and hopefully you put this to use.